skip those, upgrade those, keep either one of these. What's going on, everybody? It is your man Cleveland Terry, and today we're going to be discussing the EON line versus the PRX line of powered speakers, and why you should probably skip the EON line unless you have this particular model. I know there's a lot of powered speakers out there, but today we're going to be talking about the EON line. In my warehouse, we pretty much do JBL across the board, whether it be the JBL powered speakers or the JBL passive speakers. So for the last couple of months on my larger setups, I've been considering moving over from my passive system, which means there are no amplifiers in the speakers. I actually have to power them with external amplifiers, and it's a very large setup. So I thought maybe I will try to consolidate, pick up some of the upgraded JBL powered speakers, and then I can just do away with the huge setups that I've been dealing with. So in my first purchase, I bought the PRX 800s. These are very, very good speakers, but they weren't loud enough for what I needed for my larger system, so I went ahead and bought the SRXs to go along with it. I was going to return these. My partner said, nope, let's just keep them. So let me take you back for a minute to the original EON line. So obviously the EON, the JBL EON series, whether it be the 500, the 400, if you look back there, you might not be able to see it, but I have one of the original EON tanks, and that baby still runs and it works perfectly. Over the last couple of years, for our smaller setups, we've been using the EON powered systems, and they've done a decently good job. So I originally shot a video about how the industry, specifically JBL, likes to screw over their customers. And what they'll do is they'll come out with a product, and people will go out and flock to it and buy it all, and then they'll come out with the product they originally wanted to sell. And then that will be the one that is the most amazing speakers they have. And I decided, you know what, I'm not going to post a video. So moving on to what the subject is, and that is the PRXs versus the EONs. Now the EONs have a couple of different lines, and I don't know if you know this, but there's the EON 500 series, which is this boy right here. 500 series, it has a crown amp in there. It started out with the basics where you had the 3 channels, 2/4 inches, and then the XLR, and then you didn't have a actual adjustable EQ. A lot of them will have like a high and a low. Well, this one in particular did not have that. So the only options you have are boost, flat, and cut. Now, if you guys have ever used these speakers, you know that it doesn't really get you into the finer details of what you're trying to do for your sound. So normally I would run this on boost, and then I would do all my EQing within the mixer. That was really the only option that we would do. If I was running a sub, I'd hit that bad boy to cut, and then I'd let the sub be that low end bass. Next up, after the 515s came out, about a year later, the 515 XTs came out. Now these guys, this is where the money went. These speakers are louder, the low end is better. You flip it to the back, again, you still have the same 2/4 inch inputs and the XLR input, and of course they all have the XLR output. But this one had also a treble and a bass adjustment, so it allowed you to kind of get a better sound without having to go into the mixer and make adjustments. Especially if you're having a sub, I can adjust this with the sub to make sure that the whole room sounds full. I've been using the 515 XTs as my go-to for my smaller mobile setups for a few years now, and they have never given me a problem, except for this stupid thing right here. This particular model, JBL's the 500 series, came with these stupid caps, and it's the same thing with the sub, and during transport or whatever, they break off, they fall into it. It's almost impossible to get into it. It's really, really annoying. So there's a little button on the back that allows you to turn off the light, because if you have these, sooner or later this thing's going to fall in. It's going to be really, really annoying. When the JBL came out with their newest line, the EON 600 series, I took a look at it. I took a look at the frequency response. I took a look at the decibel output, and I realized they weren't better than my 515 XTs. So I've been using this as my baseline for any speaker that comes out. Now we do have a few of the EON 610s because we use those for cocktail or for a monitor while we're DJing. They're really small, they're really compact, they do a good job. but as far as really outputting a good sound, they're just decent. And when they max out, they max out. So the 515 XT, this is the standard. This is the gold standard for JBL powered speakers. Again, the 600 came out. I said, you know what? I know how JBL works. The 600 is going to come out, and then sooner or later, the 610 XT is going to come out, and that's going to be the speaker that you're going to want to buy. And then a few months passed, a year passed, and nothing came out. That was the only speaker they had. And then the PRX line came out, the PRX powered 800s. And I looked at the frequency response, I looked at the bass, the low end, the decibel levels, and it occurred to me, these seem very much like the old EON 515 XTs. These are an odd shaped speaker because they are actually designed to be floor monitors if you wanted to use them that way. That's why there are feet on the side and there are feet on the bottom. This one in particular comes with the RCA inputs, which is really cool. So if you needed to do a cocktail, you needed to throw on your iPod, you can just pop those right in there, and now you got a speaker for that. It has a switchable main and monitor, and the main and monitor, that's obviously for the floor. So you flip with the monitor, and then it removes some of the frequencies, so you're not getting all of that feedback that you get when the mic's right in front of it. And then it has this connect button. The PRX line, and a lot of the JBL lines now have skipped the manual approach, and they moved over to actually adjusting within the app. Now, the app is okay, it's fine, but I don't love the app. There was a lot of adjustments that I would think I would need to make in order to make it sound exactly perfect. So I do all of my adjustments on the mixer. It has a combo jack instead of having the 1/4 inch, but it only has 2 of them. These both have 3 jacks for inputs. This one only has 2. Besides the actual visual changes, as you can see here, they now look like the passive higher end MRX, SRX passive speakers. Everything looks the same. You got the nice looking grill. They've removed that stupid badge right here. They have the nice higher end casing for it. Now, this casing may be nice, it may be higher end, it may look better, but this thing is horrible when it comes to scratching. So make sure that when you buy this speaker, make sure you buy the bags. I know they're expensive, I know it sucks. Buy the bags anyway, you won't regret it because your speakers will look good forever. If you don't, they're gonna look like shit. Trust me on that. So we're gonna test out all of these speakers. I have the EON 515 XT, I got the original EON, and then I have the PRX 800. So we're gonna take a listen, and you're gonna tell me if you hear the difference. So we're gonna start with the original speaker right here. Now, of course, as I move through this, they're going to get louder, they're going to sound better. That's just the nature of the beast. But if you wanted to kind of feel out if you needed to upgrade your speakers, this might be a good opportunity for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put everything on flat. So there's not gonna be any adjustments to the speakers. We're just gonna run flat on the actual mixer here. We're gonna run everything flat here. We're gonna keep it at 12 o'clock, not peaking, and we're gonna see how it goes. So first we're gonna start with the EON, the original EON. And we will start this bad boy at 12 o'clock. Here we go. I'm gonna keep all the levels the same so you can see the difference in the power output. Okay, so original EON, again, sounds good. It's got a nice full range to it. The highs are okay, but they do a job. But the difference between these and this one, as you're gonna see, is it's the power itself. Now we're gonna back these up. right off the bat, you can see these guys definitely are putting out more power. They are much stronger. The decibel level is just a louder speaker. Let's move over to the PRX. Now, one thing to know about these particular speakers is the volume for them is kind of tricky. You move over to the back, I've noticed that the volume at 12 o'clock doesn't push out a lot of power. Now, as you can see, what I was talking about here, the volume is low. So at 12 o'clock on these, you're barely putting out any power. Now, of course, you can adjust here, but you can hear the distortion. Now, if I turn these up to, say, 3 o'clock, they are considerably better, and then they are louder than the 515 XTs. So we're gonna have to do that because clearly you can see the difference. I don't know why, but that volume knob just doesn't seem to line up with the other JBLs. It's really about the audio level. It's not like Spinal Tap where, you know, mine goes to 10, well, mine's louder because it goes to 11. It doesn't really matter. The knob doesn't really matter. It really is the decibel level. It's the power that's going out of these speakers. It's the low and it's the high and it's the mids that really create a great sounding speaker. So let's go back and forth real quick. We're gonna get these volumes exactly the same on the EON 515 XT and the PRX because we know that this one is just okay. So the levels are about the same. Now we're gonna do an A/B test for both of these. Alright, so you've heard all of the speakers here, the EON 515 XT, the EON 500, and then of course the PRX 800. Tell me what you think. Tell me which one sounds the best. Based upon what I'm hearing, the XT and the PRX are virtually the same speaker. Yes, it might be a little bit louder. It has obviously a better look to it. It has a little more options within adjustments in the app if you want to use the app. Just A to B, they're very, very close. So that brings me to my final conclusion on these speakers. If you have the original EON 500 series, not the XT version, and you were looking to upgrade, definitely upgrade. These were good in their time, but they have passed their time, and now obviously there are better choices for you. If you have the 515 XT and you're looking to upgrade, then I don't really believe that this is the upgrade you want. Now, if you want something that's just a little more visually appealing, something that's current and new and looks good, then by all means, this PRX 800 is a great looking speaker and it does sound better. They did update the sound. There's a better lower end, the mids and the highs are a little better, but is it enough to spend more money to get these speakers? I would say that if you're on the 515 XTs, just keep them until they die and then think about upgrading later on. If you have this one, you have two choices here because you can find the XTs online on Craigslist, on like the refurbished sites of like Guitar Center for about $500 a piece. I think these are $800 a piece right now. And when I bought these, coincidentally enough, they were about the same price. So this is JBL's way of making people believe that they're getting more value just because it's a new product just because it's a little prettier. They put a pretty face on it, but it really is the 515 XT, just an updated model. Skip the EON line unless you're looking at the XT. Skip it completely, go with the PRX line because it is a better speaker. It's going to give you more. Basically, I'm gonna say this is the XT line of the EONs, just rebadged. This is the 15 right here. Go with the 15s. The 15s are gonna give you more wiggle room. If you're in a smaller location or if you're in a larger location, these are gonna be better for you. Same with these. You tell me what you think. Leave a comment below. Let me know which one sounds better to you. All right, guys, once again, thank you guys for checking out my videos. If you like what I said here, hit that like button. If you really liked what I said here, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to post more and more. We're now in the summertime. I have a lot more time on my hands. So you're gonna see more and more videos from me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Same badge for both of them. And guys, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.